Hola, soy yo Vicky otra vez. Hi, it's me, Vicky, again. And in this video, it's a live stream, but I'm not expecting anyone to really join in on it. Obviously, if you want to join in on it, join in on it. But I'm experimenting. As you may know, I'm going to start doing much more live streaming. I've been watching like other people, other YouTubers and the live streams that they do, and I can see they do all sorts of weird and wonderful things on there. They put backgrounds, they put up examples of what they're wanting to say, etc. And the trouble is that to actually learn how to do that, I have to do it and do it as I go, because you can't practice a live stream until you're doing a live stream. So you have to bear with me, I'm afraid, if you are watching. Thank you. And you just have to bear with me. But the title of this live stream, what I will be talking about, is how to tell the time in Spanish. I'm not even sure where I should be looking. I hope I'm looking okay into the camera. And if you have my level 1 Break the Language Barrier book, the very first level, which is when we learn the time. Oh, look at that, it comes up backwards. When I do the normal YouTube videos, it comes up the right way around. But anyway, that's interesting. So if you do have the Break the Language Barrier level 1 book, it is on page 14 and 15. So, yeah. Now, bear with me because I'm just going to have a look. Is there a way that I can put it? Oh, I know there's lots of things that I can do and I just don't know how to do them. How am I going to learn how to do them? Show your supports, engage with your audience. What's that? Start question and answer. Edit. I don't want to edit it yet because... So how do I put what I'm looking for? There's one YouTuber that I watch and I mean, it's a totally silly channel really, but I quite enjoy it because it's just the sort of thing you can leave on in the background while he talks a load of drivel really. But it's like just in the background while I'm doing something. A load of drivel, probably like I'm talking right now, but he has like a photo frame in the background and he flicks up different things, and I just don't know really how to do that, unfortunately. And I'm looking for some sort of manage, maybe that's it, manage. No, anyway, let's get on with the actual class then, because the whole point of doing the live chats or the live streams for me is it's like doing a class. You know, I can explain a subject to you and you can ask questions in the chat, etc. You can ask me questions, you can ask me to explain things. So that's the point of them eventually. So what we're looking at is the time. I'm going to have to, oh, well, I can't just hold up the book because it's the wrong way around. I've got to work out how to actually, I was hoping that I could actually get the file up and, you know, present it on the screen, but I can't see how to do that. You don't have access to this feature, you don't have manage, it says. But then there's nothing, when you press it, there's nothing, send feedback. Okay, never mind. So we'll just go to page 14 in the Break the Language Barrier book. Now, telling the time in Spanish. Okay, so how do we ask what time it is? We say, ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? That's how we ask what time is it. And again, you know, maybe afterwards when I'm editing it to put it on the normal video, I'll be able to put write these things up, etc. I can't see anywhere here that I can do it. It won't be edit, will it? How do you want to go live? No, cancel. Okay, so no. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah, the hardest thing about telling the time in Spanish is it's the other way around. We tell the time in a different way than we tell it in English. So, for example, in English, we always go to the minutes first, don't we? So we will say it's 20 past 5, 20 minutes past 5. or it's 7:30. Yeah, we say the half first, or the however many minutes it is. And if we're saying it's to the hour, again, we say it's 25 to 4. In Spanish, they say it a different way around. So they'll say it's 4:25, or it's 2:20 rather than 2:20. So do you see, we've got to always think of the hour first when we're thinking of the time in Spanish, and then we either add on or take away the minutes. So we can see on page 14, the Que hora es, we've got a little clock there for those of you who, it doesn't matter if you haven't got the book, you still be able to follow the video. But anything that's o'clock in Spanish is en punto, en punto. Then, of course, we've got the numbers going down, 5, 5, 10, 10. When we come to quarter, like we would say in English, 3:15, quarter is cuarto in Spanish. So it's CUARTO, quarto, very similar to 4, which is cuatro. You've got to be careful with cuarto and cuatro. Then we've got 20, 20, 25, 25. Half is media. Again, we could use 30. We can say it's 5:30. You know, we don't have to say it's 5:30. So we could say 5:30, 5:30, or we could say 5:30, which would still be 5 first, because you always go to the hour first in Spanish, and then you add on a half, so 5:30. Then, so everything that's past the hour in Spanish, we use the little word, the Y, it's pronounced, which means and. So for 4:10, we say it's 4:10. 4:10. And anything that's to the hour, we go to the next hour and we minus off. So if it was 10 to 5, we say it's 5 menos 10. Yeah? Okay. Now, when we're saying it is a certain time, if it's any time that is plural, in other words, more than one, we say son las. So if you're saying it's 4:00, you say son las 4:en punto. Yeah, if you're saying it's 3:30, son las 3:30, or son las 3:30. Either of those, okay? Then when we're coming to the hour, so if you want to say it's 10 to 9, son las 9, because we go to the 9 first, menos 10, it's 9 minus 10, okay? Then, so that's for anything that's more than one. If the hour is more than one. Sorry, I'll have a little bit of coffee because it's quite early in the morning. So, necesito café. So, if it's to the hour, if it's anything to do with 1:00, that's singular. So instead of saying son las, we say es la. So if it's 1:00, es la 1:00. I mean, you could say the en punto or not, just like in English. Sometimes we say 1:00, sometimes we don't. Or if you were saying it's 10 to 1, you can say es la 1:10. Now, of course, you can also say it's 12:50. Son las 12:50. So just like in English, sometimes there's more than one way that we can tell the time. We might say 3:45, or we might say 3:45. We might say 10:20. I think there's no other way you can say that. We might say 10:15, or we might say 10:15. Oh yeah, 10:20, you'd say it's 20 past 10. So bear in mind, there are different ways you could say the time, and you just have to find the way that you find easier to remember. But of course, you have to be aware of the other ways in case somebody else says them to you, otherwise you won't understand what they're saying. Okay, so we're going to do the exercise. There's a short exercise, a practice A on page 15. We're just going to translate these times into Spanish. So number one, in English, it's 11:30. So in Spanish, we could say, son las 11:30. Or we could say, son las 11:30. So there's two ways we can say it. Número dos. In Spanish, there's actually three ways you can say that time, 3:45, because you could say, son las 3:45, or you could go to the 4 and minus off the quarter and say, son las 4:45, or you could even say, son las 4:15. And then número tres, it's 10 past 1 or 1:10. So this is a singular time, one. So you say, es la 1:10. No other way you can say that. Número cuatro, it's 12:35. So there's two ways we can say this in Spanish. Son las 12:35. O es la 1:25. Número 5, it's 2 o'clock. There's only really one way we can say that. Son las 2 en punto, or son las 2 without the punto. 8:25, number 6, or 25 past 8. Again, in Spanish, I think there's only one way we can say this. Son las 8:25. Número 7, it's 9:20, or 20 past 9. So there's two ways we can, no, only one way we can say this. Son las 9:20. No other way that you can say this. So, somebody's online and they've given me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Okay, número 8. It's 1:25, or it's 25 past 1. In Spanish, we would say son, not son, because it's 1 o'clock. So, es la 1:25. No other way we can say that, okay? Número 9. It's 10:30 in English. So in Spanish, we would say, son las 10:30. Yeah, 10:30. Or we can say, son las 10:30. Either of those. So there's no right or wrong way. Sometimes people say, what's the best way? There is no right or wrong way. It's just what comes out, isn't it? Think about when you tell the time in English, when you talk about the time. Literally, sometimes you might say, 3:45. Sometimes you might say, 4:45. It's not one's right, one's wrong. They're just what comes out, really. Okay, número 10. It's 8:45. So, son las 8:45. Or son las 9:15. So there's two ways that we can say, we can say three ways, because we could also say son las 9:15. Vale, so that's the exercise. So I have managed to do a class on it, but the purpose, as I say, of these live streams is I like to get some interaction going. I just don't know how to do it, but let's see. Do I have to do? All messages are visible. Right, okay. So I don't think I have to activate the chat or anything like that. I mean, I'm really excited because I did have at least one person. In fact, I had two people joining at one point. But anyway, it's like, it's a work in progress. let's say. And I didn't announce it again. I am going to start announcing them, doing them at better times, but I want to be sure that I know what I'm doing before then, because I don't want to, people to come on and then I'm just umming and ahhing. I'd like to work out how I could, anyway, I've got to research it, haven't I? I need to research how I can put things up. Maybe I can't do that yet. Maybe I've got to get to a certain point. But time will tell. But anyway, there you go. That's my second live stream, and I actually had people on it. So I think I've got somebody else on it. I can't see who it is, so I'm sorry about that. I can't say hello to you. I think there is a way you can see who it is, but I don't know. But thank you for watching anyway. So I will see you. Como siempre, muy pronto en el próximo video. Y hasta entonces, muchas gracias, especially to those of you who did pop in to have a look, and for giving me a thumbs up. That's very helpful, and it's nice because you think there is somebody out there. Vale. Hasta la próxima, as they say. Till the next time, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you feel so inclined. And if you're not subscribed, maybe you'll consider subscribing. Subscription is free. I have started up a membership that costs a very little money, but it's nothing to do with subscribing. When you subscribe, no, it sounds like you're paying for it, but you're not. It's free. All that subscription means is that you get maybe a notification of a live stream. Means I get more subscribers, which helps with my YouTube algorithm, but it doesn't cost any money whatsoever. I am trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. I'm not that far off. I'm about 30 something away from that. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'd be very grateful. Okay. Hasta la próxima y que tu Dios vaya siempre contigo. Gracias.